Is the applicant for Wells Fargo ATM online? There we go.
They're not here?
Yes, we have Kate Chapman.
Okay,
Hi,
great.
yes, I'm here.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I was looking at your drawings online. Can you go to page 6 and 7 of the yeah, you have that one and then go to the next one. I noticed a discrepancy. Which one is correct? That one has a wider rooftop and a slanted cornice, and go up, go to the next. Yeah, that one has is. So which one are you applying for? Which one do you want?
So that one is just the elevation. The other one is a rendering. It does have a canopy. If you go up one page to page 5, the line coming down is the line of the canopy.
Right, but on the rendering, go to the rendering. No,
Yep.
7, number 7. Yeah, there you go. The under the canopy there is the diagonal line. Can you blow that up, please? And the canopy size and the red part on the canopy is larger than numbers. Go back to the previous one. See that those are different things.
Yes,
Which one is the one that you're applying for?
the drawing, page 6. I did not actually do the rendering.
Rendering. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. Also, we approved all sorts of ATMs, but never one freestanding like this, and that's why I'm paying a little bit of attention because, it's not just this; it creates a precedent, and we're going to see, we're going to see more. I'm sure Chase will come back with a blue one. So, what is it made of? Is it metal? Is the metal appliance type or what?
So it's a prefabbed machine. If you would like, I can always send in finishes, but it's metal. It's prefab. I don't actually know exactly, but it is a metal machine. Yes.
Is like steel, enamel steel, and the colors are like an enamel paint, like in a car, for instance. Is that what that is? What I'm looking at?
I believe so.
You
I'm
believe
sorry,
so?
Bill Ponting. Is Bill Ponting online? No, that's a no. He is the applicant. They are part of the contracting team, and they would know more about this machine, but I believe they're having technical difficulties.
Okay, and what
I have a Joseph. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Joey.
Cohen.
Can you guys hear me now?
A little louder, please, if you don't mind.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, perfect.
Great.
All right. So what I'm gonna try to do is I have all the cut sheets for the product. So I could most likely send something to you guys right now so you guys have a little bit more information on the product.
Unfortunately, we are here for a final approval, so we will not be able to accept any materials that weren't already in the box folder.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was just trying to help you guys understand how what that thing looked like and what it was made out of and the dimensions of it. So the CADs that you're looking at that's just the rendering out on the outside. It's that last page is just a cut and paste, so you can see the location of where that ATM is going. But if you look at the picture above it, that's gonna be the one that it looks like.
Okay,
So the last page is a little blown up and modified, right? The one before that is gonna be more consistent to what the product is.
I mean, page 6, the one we're looking at, that's the one that's the real one, the finished product, right? The finished rendering, right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. And what goes on the top? What is that?
That's it's basically just called a topper. It's just most likely it's like a plastic, right? And it has a frame on the inside. The outside is gonna be plastic. Top of it's gonna be roofing, right? With a vent that goes to the side so the water drains off of it properly. Did
So-
Kate, did we submit wet stamps with this one?
Yes, we did. There is also an architectural set as well.
Yeah, because
Um,
this is just the rendering. The architectural stamps set should have the wet stamps in there, which have everything about this unit inside there.
Well, but what is I've seen ATMs before. This one is 8 feet plus then 19 inches. It's 9 feet something. Why is it so tall? Does it need to be that big? Or is it just for to draw attention to it, like a sign, like the red? What is it?
It's to accept the canopy, right? It's just their typical size for this enclosure. The canopy just helps keep people from getting exposed to the weather, and everything else with that unit is just kind of how they design it. It's not, they don't really have much other options for the canopy styles.
No. I'm not sure if is the 8 is the top. I mean, excuse me. The red piece, this is 19 inches wide and is, I think it's 42 inches, it's 19 inches tall and 42 inches wide. That's a box that goes on top of the ATM, correct?
Correct. That actually sits on top of the canopy for the enclosure, yes.
And why do you need that?
It's just part of the unit. It has all the space you need for the roofing that goes in there. There's lights up above. That top section has all the electronics in there. It's just kind of a soffit for everything inside that enclosure.
Okay. Let's go back to the site plan, which is, I think, is number 2 or 3, yeah, 2. Where is the property line in this drawing? Or go to the next one, please. Yeah, that right there. Where is the
So-
property line?
I had submitted the architectural set. There should be a better, yes, this one. Yes, this should have everything you need for the site plan.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's go to the location. Okay. So it's inside the property line, inside the setbacks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then with this one as well, if you go to the bottom, you'll see the actual mechanics of that enclosure inside those plans as well.
Keep going.
I'm not seeing the structural set. It
Is-
should have
Is
been
it
part of.
separate? Do you guys have another document?
We have the CAD drawings and the architectural set.
Mhm. Yeah, like I said, the reason I'm asking is because this is the first freestanding appliance type ATM that we see. And it's not just this, it will create a precedent. And I imagine in a couple of weeks, Chase or somebody else will come up with another one. And it is kind of big and intrusive, and it draws a lot of attention. So that's why I'm asking about the height and all the red elements and so forth. The architectural elevation is more subdued than the rendering, so it's preferable. I kind of wonder, why do you need the extra height and the extra red on top?
I'm personally not too sure if that could be taken off. If you look at the side elevation, you can see the Wells Fargo branding is on that red piece. And that's typically where they put their signage on it, on the side.
And it's that's the side. So the Wells Fargo, the ATM has already a sign. Do you need another sign? Is that it?
It's I'm not too sure about what options they have as far as the company that manufactures these for them. So I'm not too sure if they have options with that red piece off. We could ask them, but I don't think that they make them with that red piece off of it.
Well, it's it's an unnecessary thing. That you already, obviously, if you drive by, you will see the sign, you'll see the red, the ATM, like every other ATM in Santa Barbara. This seems to be much more of an advertising piece, like a monument sign. So that's why I'm raising these concerns. And like I said, it would become a precedent setting, and I don't think this is what Santa Barbara would like to see. So please come back, see what is a minimal size ATM with the adequate signage, but not excessive signage. So please come back next time and we'll discuss it. Okay? We'll do that.
Okay,
Okay. Right.
is it possible that this will pass if we are able to get a different option from Wells Fargo? I believe this is the standalone for weathering it to keep the
Excuse
customers.
me a second. Jonathan, we're in a meeting here. We need you 100%. Okay. Please repeat.
Okay,
What were you saying? Yeah.
I was wondering if this would be likely to pass if we're able to discuss this with Wells Fargo. If they approve a non-canopy option, would that be more likely to pass?
Yes, a smaller. I mean, this is. It looks like twice as big as it needs to be for an ATM machine. That's the point. Please
Yeah.
bring back the smaller, the basic unit that you have with adequate signage, but not excessive signage.
Okay.
Okay.
And-
Very
Okay,
good. Thank you.
yes, of course.
Thank you.
As far as this unit, there's no protection from the elements up above, and that canopy. Are we having an issue with that canopy as well, or just the red signage up above the canopy?
Well, both. Why does it have to be so tall? I mean, this is the tallest ATM machine I ever seen.
Well, there's nothing up above it for protection from the elements if it's raining or if there's issues with that. So it's made to keep the customer out of the elements when they're using the ATM. And the lower that gets, the more likely you are of having issues with stuff being pulled by it or stuff hitting that. So that's why it's so high. Right. So it's just
Yeah.
keep the clearance from people having problems with the cantilevered canopy. And if there's somebody pulling supplies or products for one of these buildings close by and it hits that canopy because it's lower, it's going to create issues and potential risks for the companies around it. So they keep it high to keep it out of the way and keep people from having problems with the cantilevered canopy.
Mhm.
So that's the reasoning for it.
We do have a second option. It's their less used standard, but it's a white and silver option.
It's
I can always ask Wells Fargo if they would like to go with that option if the red is the problem here.
Okay, that seems, yep, that would be a good idea. Why don't you
Okay.
please present that option, okay?
Of course, of
So,
course.
so we'll see you next time, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
That concludes the consent calendar.
Gotcha.
All right, we will begin the March 7th Aspire hearing. We'll begin with any public comment not pertaining to the items in today's agenda. Is there anyone online in the audience?
We do have some people online. If anybody would like to make a comment not on today's agenda, please raise your hand in the chat. Seeing none.
Okay, close public comment. Move on to the agenda status report.
We have two items to continue today. Item number 1, 25 BAR-0005, Van Setters accessory structure would like to be dropped altogether from the agenda. And item number 5, 25 BAR-00016, Mujahid addition would like to be continued to the March 21st SBAR agenda, and we will need a motion for that.
Make a motion to continue those two items.
First item dropped, second item continued.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second
I'll
it.
second.
Okay.
First by Alex, second by Amy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to review of the minutes from February 21st. We can review them, but we'll have to make a motion once Val is here. Oh, she wasn't here either, so we won't have a quorum, but let's make any. I was not here on the 21st. Oh, okay, great. Sorry, I miscounted. Yeah, so let's go ahead and review those then.
I have a comment on item 5, comment C. Architectural style is well done. Scandinavian style is in vogue and is appreciated. I would eliminate the vogue part. Architectural style is appreciated. It's just, we may say things that may not want reflected on the minutes.
Madam Chair. Good morning. We reviewed the Tateman new residents and approved those. I want to make sure we have the meeting minutes. It was a pretty contentious item. We had a lot of neighborhood opposition to the project, so project gets appealed, and I want to make sure items 7 and 8 are properly documented. So just have all the board members who are present take a very careful look at that. One note is I don't think Joe was taking the notes we had. I don't know if Gwen was doing. Yeah. I like what she did here. And I think this is something we might want to do in the future. Item A, or on the SBAR comments, the board is focused on design review, mass bulk and scale, and concerns from public comments about the slope stability and fire safety should be addressed through the applicable channels. Given that the applicants obviously read these meeting minutes to figure out how to work with us, but the public does too. And we seem to have no end of difficulty trying to communicate that and having that in the notes. Like we often say that in meetings and it doesn't get carried into the comments. I think it's probably a good idea because it helps people that are digesting this on the opposite side of the project. Sometimes I think what we might want to improve is through the applicable channels. I think we should actually be more specific. I think we can direct them to the project, the planner assigned to the project or to the building department, or both. I would just recommend that we add that note there because that's good direction for those folks to understand that. We may want to do this too when we get into the telecom projects where we're getting, kind of run around in circles by things that are out of our purview. Yeah, like it's a really, I've never, I mean, 8 years, we're dumb that I never thought of that, but somebody did. I think Gwen did, and I think that's really smart. No, it's frustrating for everybody to have to constantly repeat that, so.
Any other adjustments to the minutes before? Good? Okay.
I would just say add to the note on item A of item 7. And I would add that note as well to item 8 because it's basically the same project. I mean, it was the same applicant, not same project, sorry, same
Jason Parker.
discussion on a similar project right next door. So I would say to be addressed through the county's the planner assigned to the application and/or the building department.
Did we say that part in the meeting? I just wasn't here, so I just
Yeah.
wanna clarify. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
that's
that's
you.
what we're always saying, is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you gotta talk to your planner for the building department about, yeah, they were really concerned about water runoff and engineering on the slope stability, fire department issues, things that they're concerned about in their neighborhood that they need somebody to address that for them, I assume.
With that addition, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Well, second,
Those in favor? One abstention. Okay, motion carries. Okay, we will move on to SBAR members' informational briefings. Does anyone need to recuse from anything? I need to recuse from items 2, 3, and 4. I know. Hopefully Val shows up soon. 2, 3, and 4, yeah. And then 1 is dropped, so. Any other updates?
I need to recuse from item 4. Or sorry, item. Yeah, item 4.
Okay. So we need Val to get here by the time we get to items 4. Okay. Great. We'll just have to see if Val gets here.
Did you want to take just 2 and 3 first and then see what time we're at once we get to item 4?
Okay, and we'll move on to staff update.
Good morning, Madam Chair. No updates from me this morning.
Okay, I have a question. Has there been any progress on how the review process, the ministerial review process is going to be for the SB 89 and 330 projects that are not going to SBAR anymore, but still need to go to Planning Commission? Who's going to be doing those reviews? Will it come to a consent or
For
their architect at the county?
So for SB 9 projects, that ordinance was approved. So those projects, okay. So I guess is the question related to? I know there was discussions about hiring an architect as a consultant for the county. Is that the question?
Yes, and just there's been a lot of, I guess, a lot of these applications, and they go to Planning Commission, and it looks like some of them are going to get, if the applicant agrees, are going to get kicked back to us if Planning Commission has questions. But yeah, how's that process getting ironed out?
Sure.
Or
Yeah, okay.
that review.
Okay, yeah, I can help with that. So, yes, there is a consultant contract that is in the works. I'm not really sure where exactly it is, but
Okay.
In the next several months, we do anticipate to have an architect on contract to help staff with evaluating projects, depending on which projects they are. Now, with regard to the projects that are going to the Planning Commission, there is one project so far that has been identified that by the Planning Commission that they wanted the BAR to review the project, and the applicant has agreed to come. And so that project will, I don't recall which date. I think it's going to be the next hearing date on the 21st of March. So that project will come forward. It is just a discussion item. So it's not agendized the same way as a standard project. But any recommendations that the BAR has will be recorded, and then that will be going forward with the applicant to the PC for review. So again, the applicant doesn't have to take those recommendations and carry them into the project. They may choose some or all or none. That is up to the applicant, and then the PC has their discretion to review the project.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item 2, because item 1 is.
So, yeah, we have 2 items on the consent calendar. The first one on 2202 Calle Culebra, make a motion to approve as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The item number 2, C2, the Wells Fargo ATM. Maybe I got a little bit too excited about that item, but it's just like a new element. This is it's not like a regular ATM, but it's a detached ATM, and it will create a precedent. We'll see others like that. That's why I spent a little bit more time, and I made some comments asking them to bring the least, the smallest version available. And they will continue that for the next week, the next meeting. So that was the consent calendar. The standard agenda, we have item number 2. The first item is the new barns and AG employee dwellings at 370 Ortega Ridge Road in Summerland. Page must carry conversion of it includes conversion of an existing garage into 730 square foot cabana, a new barn of 3,200 square feet, another barn of 3,000 square feet, and 2 agricultural employee dwellings, both of 640 square feet. On site, we have a house of 4,182 square feet and a detached garage of 745 square feet. There is less than 50 cubic yards of cut and fill. The property is 73 acres and zone AG 120, 370 Ortega Ridge Road. So is the applicant here?
We have the applicant
yeah.
online.
Online, great.
Good morning, Daryl Becker with Becker Studios here presenting for Santa Barbara 3 LLC. Thank you guys for being here. First of all, I wanted to clarify some information. The cut and fill counts for the overall property, there's two development zones. There's the upper zone and the lower. I'll get to that in a minute. But the cut and fill counts are cut 2250, fill 1670. For a net export of 580 yards of soil at this point. So I just want to clarify that because I think you read off that it was less than 50 cubic yards. That might have been.
That's what it says in the in the description.
That might have been earlier. I don't know where that came from. So anyway, we've done conceptual civil. So I just wanted to clarify to the board.
Okay.
All right, starting on this first PDF, this property is located on Ortega Ridge Road. It's a 80-acre avocado farm. It's bound by Greenwell and Ortega Ridge. And it abuts kind of a number of properties that lift up way high above it and look over this avocado orchard. The client bought this house or property about 3 years ago. And we set the goal of a 5-year plan to convert this to an organic farm. And the plan overall is to convert to a holistic regenerative farm. And a lot of the program that we're proposing supports that program. So we've essentially just been taking a slow path to doing this, and these are the first developments on the property. If you move over to PDF 3, this gives you kind of an overview with a topographical map. If you notice up top, we've got a divided, dill dash line there, and that defines the scope of work area 1, which we're calling the equipment area site plan. So what's up there right now, or what was there, is the main residence with a small 2-car garage. You can see that's a very linear residence there with a lawn in front. And then there's a small 2-car garage. And then behind it to the north was a tennis court. And then the entryway, the driveway comes in off Ortega at a 90-degree entrance through a hedge. And so a little further down the road, there's an entrance to the farm, and that's been the main entrance to the farm. And it puts a lot of traffic up on Ortega Ridge, and it also makes it kind of enter on a 90-degree. So the first part of this plan was, one, evaluating how to service the ranch. And the first thing we determined that there's 2 programs going on. One is the residential program, or the home ranch part of the program, and that should be more residential in nature. And then the second part of the program was, we have a working avocado ranch, and we grow other fruit and whatnot, and there's refrigeration trucks and all kinds of delivery trucks and boxes and picking and everything else. Most of that should come off the lesser traveled Greenwell. And so what we're trying to do is take the compression off of Ortega Ridge, make that main entrance in that house environment more like the house and the home ranch environment, and then developing the lower service part of the property down below off Greenwell. So just leading into the scope of work area 1, if you'll go to the next PDF or the next sheet, 104. This is the area, and our scope of work right now is basically this area denoted in the dark outline. So what we're doing is we're going to convert the 2-car garage to a cabana. It kind of abuts or bookends the back of the pool, as you can see here. But the scope of work there would be...
Excuse me a second. Let me indicate where. Jonathan, please zoom into the garage in the bottom. That's what he's talking about. Keep going. Yeah, center it on the page. Okay, that's what you're doing, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So as you can see, the goal there is to convert the garage to a cabana. We're architecturally modifying the cabana, but we're not making it any bigger. We're just adopting the existing garage and converting it to a cabana building. And then above that, what we're planning on doing is removing the tennis court. This whole area, it's already been cleared, but this was avocados. And so we cleared out the avocados to lay out these areas. And so the idea here was to remove the tennis court, which was in really poor shape. It was cracking, it was asphalt. And as you guys know, this area up there is full of clay materials. So we demoed the tennis court. And then if you look on the left-hand side, you'll see that access drive coming up the hill. And then you'll see this existing ag road. Currently the ag road is the main entrance to the farm. So all traffic comes in through there. And what we're trying to do is make that a secondary ag entrance. And then we're going to put the main ag entrance off of Greenwell. So, and then also, if you, the middle of this page above the bocce court area, it says entrance. That's the existing main entrance to the residence. And then there's a secondary exit access to the right up above to the north. So right now there's actually 3 there's three entrances. We have the lower farm, we have the entrance to the middle of the residence, and then we have the upper entrance or exit right up there. So it's probably best that we skip. I'd like for you to skip the next page and then go to the one following, which is labeled LC1. This is a landscape plan, and I think it does a really good job of coloring and sort of stylizing what the program's intended to be. So starting on Ortega Ridge Road to the left here, the main entrance is supposed to come in off of Ortega. The idea at that point is that we'll have a main entry experience that would lead you up to the main residence and a motor court and this barn area. And then you can see to the right immediately as a secondary sort of choked down secondary agricultural entrance, which is more of an access to the farm. But again, the idea overall is to change the traffic so that this upper parcel, this upper area is really about the main residence and what that experience is up there. So as you come in off Ortega Ridge, you enter off the road. We have approximately 60 feet outside the main entry gate. We've got 30 feet denoted on the plan for fire truck purposes, but then there's another 20 or so feet. So more than enough area to pull vehicles off the road and take that compression off of Ortega Ridge. Then you'd come up, move up the hill to the motor court area, which is a circular motor court. And we sized that such that we can circulate in a radius and then also park guest parking in that radius. And then you can also exit by going up the north exit, which is an existing entrance to the property. So the idea is just cleaning up the flow up there. And then we have this new equipment barn, which is basically a garage for the main residence. It also provides some equipment that's for the farm that isn't agricultural worker equipment. The lower barn, which I'm going to cover later, will hold the kind of heavier agricultural tractors and whatnot. But this barn up here